Well, if you did have a chance for your mind to inhabit a younger body, at least it's, Ryan Reynolds. Oh, imagine if it was like Adam Sandler. That would be a whole different movie. So, Selfless, directed by Tarsem Singh, who directed The Immortals, Mirror Mirror, The Cell, and one of my favorite movies, The Fall. I've been waiting many years for him to make another movie that's like The Fall because this movie is really good. So he came out with this movie, which is basically about this old dying guy named Damien, played by Ben Kingsley. He's this really rich guy, but he only has so many months more to live. So he's told about this procedure called shedding, which is basically when a kind of older dying person usually sheds their body in favor of a new, fresh, younger body. So he decides to go through the procedure, and his mind is transferred to a new body which he thinks has been genetically grown in a lab somewhere. And now he's no longer Ben Kingsley, he is Ryan Reynolds. So he does all the stuff that he wasn't able to do in his old dying body, but then he starts to realize that something kind of weird is going on, and that's basically the movie. It is an interesting concept, definitely. For a lot of the time, it's our bodies that end up failing us when we get older, so how great would it be for us to just move our minds over to a younger body and live for however long we want? Of course, there are some cons to that. The movie explores that a bit. Honestly, I was surprised by this movie. I kind of wasn't really expecting much, but it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Ryan Reynolds is actually pretty good in this. He gets to be snarky sometimes, as he often is, but he does show a bit more of his dramatic side, which was very nice to see. Matthew Good is also in this movie. He plays Albright, the guy who's kind of in charge of this whole shedding process. And he makes a pretty menacing bad guy. Of course he ends up being, because he's tall and British, so of course he's going to be a bad guy. It was nice to see him in more of a mainstream movie to, just get people to recognize how great and talented he is. But his character is the main obstacle that Ryan Reynolds' character has to face in the movie, and they have some pretty good scenes together. But I did feel like that Ben Kingsley, who plays the original Damien in the beginning of the movie, was a bit wasted in this. I know they wanted someone very well known and recognizable, but for such a talented actor that Ben Kingsley is, he didn't really get to showcase his talents that much, so that was a little disappointing. And also the movie brings you right into it, which can be good, but also it felt a little bit rushed. But I did understand that the movie just wanted to get things moving, so that was understandable. And it was mostly decent pacing. There was a good balance between action and downtime, and the action scenes were actually pretty good. Again, while I was surprised about that this movie wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, it also could have been a lot more memorable. There was something that wasn't quite there, and I think that's because it was trying to be bigger than it really was. This could have easily been kind of a smaller sci-fi movie, which I personally like a lot. So when you try to make kind of a smaller concept something bigger than it really needs to be, it can lose something along the way, and I think that's what happened with this movie. Again, it's not bad, it's just you'll like it when you see it, but you're not going to really remember it, a week or two later, just like, oh, that's the movie I saw. So yeah, interesting concept, but probably would have done better in another movie, but for its efforts, I'm going to give Selfless a meh and a half. Yeah, in terms of Ryan Reynolds movies, a lot better than what he usually does, so that's saying something, I guess. But have you guys seen it? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Alright guys, that's it for me. Hope you're having a great day, and I will see you soon. Toodles!